Hi everyone. I wanted to share a video walking through a web app side project that I've been working on. It's a brainstorming web app that uses the Weaviate, the vector database with generative search to do a few cool things. I've been playing around with another brainstorming app called Brainstory. And it gave me a couple of ideas that I wanted to explore. So this is a pretty simple web app that I've been working on just to explore the different possibilities of what you can do with generative search and retrieval augmented generation. So I'll just walk through what you can do here. You've got a list of brainstorms here, and you can start a new brainstorm. If I click into one of the existing brainstorms, you can see that there's a conversation that you have with an AI coach sort of thing, which is very similar to the Brainstory web app. So you talk to the AI, and the AI uses generative search to come up with a new question that it asks you in order to help you think a bit deeper about your idea. So that's one thing that this does. But one thing that I've been focusing on is it possible to draw or like find relevant context from other brainstorms to help you find connections between your ideas, or for the AI to ask better questions. So if the AI has more context about other things that I've been thinking about, it might help me sort of get sort of new insights, or maybe think about things from a slightly different perspective. So if we look at this brainstorm here, I've talked about my goals for this year. So if we imagine I want to plan my goals for this week, I could start a new brainstorm. So I can create a new brainstorm, and I can say that I want to plan my goals for this week. I want to think about what I want to get done and plan my time using time blocking. So if I send that, now when I get a new message from the AI, I can say I want it to find relevant context based on similar messages that I've sent in other brainstorms. So if I click that and say get coach message, it has come up with a question here that is asking about, it's asking more information about my interest or goals that I want to make progress on. And it's asking, how can I ensure that I allocate enough time while maintaining balance in my schedule? So at the top here, we can actually see the prompt that was used. So the prompt, here's sort of like the basic prompt. Use the brainstorm messages to ask a thought-provoking question that will help the user think deeper. And it's included this context here. So the user is reflecting on their previous brainstorms. They want to consider what they want to accomplish and use time blocking. They also mention their interest in achieving balance. So it's specifically asking me about how can I how can I achieve some balance because it knows that's what I care about based on my other brainstorm, which I think is pretty powerful. The fact that this system can find relevant things from other brainstorms, but apply those search results to the current message. So I'll maybe talk just a little bit about how this is working in the back end. So this the way that it is finding relevant context and then using that to ask a new question, I'll just switch over to VS Code. So the way that this works in my sort of Astro web app, it's all just very simple HTML forms. So if I go down to the actual HTML, the actual get a new coach message, when this, the radio button is chosen for the context source, and when that button is clicked, it sends just a post request to the current page. And the get coach message, it gets the context source from the radio button that was in the form data, and then it calls this function, which gets a new message from the coach for the current brainstorm using that context source. And the way this works is using Weaviate's generative search. It does a query. So it looks up the last message, looks up the last message in the brainstorm, which is the user's last message. And then it gets relevant context based on that message. So let's have a look at that. So to do this, it needs to look up what is the ID of the current brainstorm message, which was the last thing that I said. And then it's doing this GraphQL query using the Weaviate client to say, find the nearest messages where the brainstorm ID is not the current brainstorm. So it's not looking at messages within the current brainstorm. It's only looking at messages from outside, from previous brainstorms. And it's also making sure that the messages it's looking at are the user messages, not the coach questions. So the role is equal to user. It's looking up a maximum of 5 similar messages, and then using those 5 search results, it is using this prompt to pass those 5 search results into this prompt to say these messages are from the user's previous brainstorms. Write a succinct paragraph of context related to this message, and then it includes the user's current message. So if we look at here, I want to plan my goals for this week. I want to think about what I want to get done and plan my time using time blocking. So that's the message that got passed in to that prompt. So this sort of functionality of finding similar text in a database and then using an LLM to generate something using those search results. That's like the main idea of this generative search concept. And I think there's a lot of sort of possibilities of what you can do with this. You can either do what we're doing here, which is what's called a grouped task, where if you've got 5 search results, it is generating one output from those 5 search results, which can be useful for sort of summarizing certain things. But the other thing we can do is what's called like a single task, where rather than having 5 search results become one output, you can make it generate an output for each search result. So one other thing that I've got working here, if we generate a summary of this brainstorm, this is doing another generative search where it's looking at the messages and summarizing those into a markdown summary of the brainstorm, which is the same thing that our brainstory does. But the thing that I think is pretty interesting here is this find connections with other brainstorms. So if I click this button, this is going to use the current brainstorm summary to look for other similar brainstorm summaries and then find connections between those summaries. So here, this list at the top, it's saying my goals for this year. It's now generated a sort of a summary comparing the two. So both brainstorms emphasize the use of time blocking. Both brainstorms mention the importance of maintaining balance. The brainstorm on goals for the year suggests using journaling as a tool. So I think specific to brainstorming, I think this could be an interesting sort of use case. If you use an app like this to brainstorm and to get ideas out of your head, this could be really interesting in helping you make new connections. Maybe you brainstorm about a certain idea and then 6 months later, you're brainstorming about something similar and you forget that you've brainstormed about something similar 6 months ago. And this sort of thing could help you make those connections or revisit old ideas that you might revisit and turn into something different. I'm pretty excited about the possibilities for what you can do with this generative search. It's pretty powerful, I think, to combine the vector search where you can find similar text by their sort of semantic meaning, and then using an LLM to do some extra work to write something new, to summarize things, to do like a little bit of extra thinking that could help you, I don't know, gain new insights or make new connections. I think it's pretty cool what you can do here. Obviously, this is a pretty bare bones demo, and it's not perfect at all. I've noticed that it sometimes gets a little bit confused about what is the current brainstorm and what is from the previous brainstorms. But I still think this is worth exploring further. And yeah, if this is interesting to you, please reach out. Thank you.